those are my disclaimers. Moving right along. What is hypnosis good for? Like, what's the point of it overall? What are you even here for? So, hypnosis is good for considering how the mind operates. Hypnosis is a regular part of real life. We're all hypnotized all the time. And I'm going to talk more about what I mean by that as this little introduction goes on. But the point of it is because we are always subjected to hypnosis, because our parents have hypnotized us and our families and society and the television and the government, because hypnosis is what we are all a result of all the hypnosis we've been through and experienced in our lives. What hypnosis is good for is self-awareness, is becoming aware of all those things that we know or believe about ourselves. Because the way we have generated our minds and our souls is through a series of hypnotic experiences, what I said, our parents, our families, our friends, our lovers, our society, whatever it is, because that's the way we've generated our identity and our character, it is also the pathway to changing it. Okay, so the reason we are the way we are has to do with all the memories and imprints and patterns that we have generated over the course of our lives. The only way to upgrade that or to transform that is to use the hypnosis again, but not in that passive way that we received it the first time, right? The way we are by default is passive. We didn't know that we were being hypnotized into our fears or into our, beliefs about love or money or whatever. It was just a passive thing that happened as we aged. And it's still happening right now, right? Every time you turn on the TV, you're still being hypnotized into all kinds of shit that you're not fully aware of. Okay, so how do we change that? Well, we use hypnosis to go to the next level, to go to the next possibility. So the hypnosis that's conscious, this is the kind that I'm teaching you right now and that I practice, is the one that we say intercepts that belief pattern and allows it to be transformed. Who can use it? Well, I've already answered that, right? Oops, somebody just fell off the screen. Can you all hear me? Is there any issues with the tech? If you guys have any issues, just put it in the chat. Oh yeah, you can use the chat, by the way. I should have said that. If you have any questions or I'm not listening to you or I'm paying attention to what's going on, just send a message and I'll see it. And you will get to talk in a moment too. So who can use hypnosis? Well, obviously, because of what I just said, the answer is anybody who's aware of it. Anybody who's aware that this is the truth about who we are and how we operate knows that the way you speak is hypnotic. The way you receive information is hypnotic to yourself. So when you become a filter for information, you become the hypnotist. So who can use it is anybody who wants to participate and qualify life in that way. People who are not hypnotic and who don't have any self-awareness about this are basically passively receiving information. Which, by the way, I have no judgment of that. I do not think that we're all here for the same awakening or the same, experience of consciousness at the same time. So it's not a good or bad. It's not a judgment. It's just a fact of evolution that some people are starting to be conscious of consciousness. And if you're becoming conscious of consciousness, you're the kind of person who wants to use hypnosis actively. Okay? See, someone's having some issues here. Perla, can you hear? Are you able to be in the room here? I see her at the bottom there. I do not see it. Okay, I'll just keep track of her. So who can use hypnosis is anybody who wants to, anybody who needs it, anybody who wants to impact others, anybody who wants to create some change. When is hypnosis appropriate? That's a very important question. Is hypnosis always appropriate? No, some people don't want to be engaged in hypnosis. Some people don't want to be asked. Some people don't want to be invited on a transformation path. So hypnosis is appropriate by consent. Now, today we're doing a class on casual hypnosis. So, how will we decide what's the difference between talking somebody into something and investigation? That's a very important and central question. So, when is it appropriate is when your intention behind it is aligned with your purpose. Do you always need to have consent to do hypnosis? Well, if hypnosis is the way you think and the way you speak, are you always going to use a question and answer format like, can I hypnotize you? Probably not. So, is it appropriate to use hypnosis casually? It really depends on what you're trying to do with it and what you're trying to get out of it. If you're going to a party and you want to, you know, become closer to someone and become interested in someone, I would say it is appropriate. If you're going to a party to try to talk somebody into something who has already stated they don't want what you're trying to talk them into, well, then you have to look inside of yourself and wonder, why am I using this and is that fair? Okay, so the way we communicate is by default always hypnotic. Therefore, hypnosis is the way we communicate, is the way we think. So it's not like we can decide, oh, it's appropriate here and not appropriate there. But we can think about, well, what's the intention behind this? Am I trying to get something? Or am I investigating and being curious and wanting to expand my understanding of somebody? So your intention is what tells you when hypnosis is appropriate. In a clinical setting, it's a whole different ball game, which I'm not going to talk about today. The ethics of hypnosis. I already just went over that, but I'll say it one more time. Because we're talking about affecting change in people, because we're talking about people's core beliefs and essential being, it's super important to consider whether our intervention is wanted or not wanted, whether we are overstepping our boundary. So we really do have to think about the ethics of hypnosis before using it haphazardly. At the same time, that's why I'm teaching this course, is to invite you to experiment and find out more about how to access the subconscious mind. So I'm putting up this slide not to tell you to be freaked out about it or to be worried about it, but to tell you the onus is on you to use this in a way that's informational and fair to your, family, friends, whoever you're applying it to. I'm not responsible for how you use it. Don't use it for dark things. Don't use it for inappropriate things because that's not the point of having the tool. People do ask me all the time, well, can you talk somebody into, X and Y? Can you make dark and bad things happen? Well, the answer to that is probably because that's the way I understand the quantum field. But do I even want to think about that or consider it? No, because the ethics of hypnosis is, very obviously to me not about that.